Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier have just reacted to Alex Pereira's monstrous victory over Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320. And their reaction in the first 7 seconds says it all.
Be a 3-division world champion for the first time. And it's, look, Tom Aspinall is a large obstacle.
That's a big
giant man that is never going to make middleweight, never going to make light heavyweight. Right. That is a true heavyweight.
Tom Aspinall couldn't make 225.
No.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Because he's ripped at 255. Yeah, so
that's a real heavyweight.
I'd like to see him fight again at 205. I got to be honest, man. I kind of like the guy that dominates a little bit, especially when it looks like that.
But it looks like that. I mean, that was revenge.
Well, Yuri Prochazka has fought Alex Pereira twice. So in our fighter meeting, when we talk about Ankalaev, that would have been a fresh matchup, whereas Carlos Ulberg has not fought him, so maybe he has the inside lane.
Well, Ulberg versus Yuri for an eliminator.
Or for a vacant belt if
Peloton's
doing his
if
thing,
Peloton decides to go up. Look, he's 38 years old, too. At a certain point in time, he's going to be done with this. And it's not, we got to appreciate him now. Because he doesn't have 10 years left. I mean, it's just, heavyweights can fight a little longer, but, 41, 42.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Fighting in there at 41, it ain't fun. It ain't fun at 41. I'm telling you, I don't care how good you are.
But, we said a year ago when we talked about Pereira, he's only been in the UFC 3 years, and now we sit here. He still has less than 4 years on the roster.
It's nuts.
Same building, for that matter. And flip the script the way that Alex Pereira did tonight to Ankalaev. I've never seen anything like it. I've never even heard of anything like it, and neither of you. I'm challenging you. I read all the comments. Tell me of something that you've seen. And not to mention the way that it was done. This was not a matter of Alex Pereira being a powerful striker and coming out and catching somebody. That's just not what we saw. As a matter of fact, Alex Pereira got a takedown. And the way that they score takedowns, I must tell you, I've never really understood. But as your resident wrestling expert, any way that you want to do it, any wrestling metric, any way that you want to do it, Alex Pereira took Ankalaev down. That just wasn't supposed to happen. I haven't seen Ankalaev taken down. Now, if there was a position that I missed, for example, in his fight with Paul Gregg, if there was a position that I'm forgetting where Ankalaev was down, forgive me, but I don't know of a time that he was in that position, and I was very stunned at the way that he reacted. I would never kick somebody when they're down. I'm just speaking to what I saw. I'm not giving Ankalaev a hard time. I'm just speaking to what I saw. I was very surprised in that position. He did a very good job of covering. He really did. Pierre is trying to hit him, and Pierre's using some energy, and they're blocking him. I mean, Ankalaev's looking right at him. Now, the first thing that you need to do from an X's and O standpoint in that position is to sit up and get an underhook. You're not going to get away if you don't get an underhook. The other thing that does is it closes the distance, and the guy just simply can't hit you, right? I was waiting for Ankalaev to get the underhook, and he never tried.
And the MMA community is absolutely losing it. Joe Rogan couldn't believe what he witnessed. Alex Pereira once again proved why he's one of the scariest fighters walking the planet right now. His striking is deadly, his timing is razor sharp, and his composure under pressure makes him look almost superhuman. Rogan said it perfectly. Pereira doesn't just fight, he hunts. The way he stalked Ankalaev, stayed patient, and waited for the perfect moment to unleash that knockout shot left everyone completely speechless.
Not only does he emote on Ankalaev afterwards and treat him like it was a walk in the park. A walk in the park. Let's talk about what really happened here. He started the fight, and he's going inside low kick. Something that he did not do once or that much in the first fight between them. So you know what? The narrative from Pereira was, I was injured the first fight. That was the worst version of me that's ever showed up. And I was thinking, that's what all fighters say, though. They're not just going to admit that the other guy's way better than them. So I was thinking, all right, Alex Pereira, these are excuses, but they were definitely legitimate excuses because he went shin to shin with Ankalaev, like Jan Blachowicz did. Remember, Ankalaev's a southpaw, as he is in this stance here. And what you may notice is, he's not a southpaw here. And that's what it came down to. In the last fight, Ankalaev could remain southpaw for nearly the entire time. That's where he's comfortable. And that's what gives Alex Pereira problems. And Pereira was trying to do lead low kicks on Ankalaev's calf, and they weren't having nearly as much of an effect. Jan Blachowicz went shin to shin with Ankalaev and gave him a ton of problems.
They're all there behind the cage, just staring, just looking, all being very, very serious, very scary and very intimidating. Well, it obviously worked because Magomed Ankalaev just got flatlined, smoked, destroyed, beaten in 1 minute, 20 seconds. Now, all the talk of him coming in at 40%, maybe there was a little truth to that. I mean, we did talk about him being a little burnt out. We did talk about the schedule that he was on, which was kind of crazy. And certainly it looked like it did catch up to him in his last fight against Magomed Ankalaev. But he was right. There isn't going to be a third match. There isn't going to be a rubber match. Absolutely no way. Alex Pereira now is going to go into new challenges. If Magomed made it competitive, then maybe there would have been a talk of a third match. But it wasn't competitive. It was completely one-sided. It was one of the most vicious beatdowns we've ever seen. Alex Pereira now is a 3-time UFC champion. No UFC champion has ever lost a belt like that and then came back and got it in quick fashion and made it that easy. No champion's ever done that before, losing the belt and coming back again like that. And then when you look here at the record of Alex Pereira and what he's achieved, Joe Rogan and DC, they were talking about this all night, but it is insane.
Alex, you are back to being the champion. The belt is once again around your waist. But before we even talk about the fight, you're walking in a booth. You noticed that you were adjusting your foot inside the octagon. What really is going on there? And was this something before the fight, or did it happen in the fight?
Yeah, I think this time it broke for sure. It started turning purple super quickly. But, you know, when I was throwing those low kicks, I saw that they were landing. You know, he changed his stances after the third kick, which is something that he didn't do in the last fight. Did something that I saw Jan Blachowicz did in the fight too. But as soon as I landed the first kick to his lead leg, I felt my foot.
You were aggressive really from the first moment on. Was the approach to go right at him, or was that something that you saw looking out for your right?
That was the plan in the first fight. You know, I wanted to go up and be aggressive. I told everyone I wasn't feeling well. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But, you know, I felt it, and I felt that it was going to happen. You know, even this morning we went to breakfast in Big Romania, and we saw one of the guys from Power Slap who we saw last time on fight day as well. He had just lost that night, and today he was there and he just won. So I thought to myself, man, you know, last time he had lost, I lost, now he won. So everything is coming together.
You're going to have. Do things feel different? You've won the title before. You've been the champion in 2 divisions. Is something else happening?
To make all those around me happy, you know, all my fans, I feel all the love. At the press conference, the fans won't even let my opponent talk. So I feel that, and I want to give people joy. And even in Brazil, sometimes people say, oh, I wasn't watching the UFC anymore until you came and stuff. So I feel it, and I want to give back to this.
Well, you're certainly doing that. Alex, now comes the part of my job that I have to do. That's always difficult because you just won the title once again. And we're already asking you about your next fight. But I talked to Carlos Ulberg and I talked to Yuri Prochazka after your fight. They both believe they're next in line. They both have the reasons for it. If you get to play matchmaker as the champion, when do you fight?
You know, like I said up there, I had a whole speech prepared, but we all know what happened to John Jones' brother. So it's not even right to talk about that. We'll talk about that later, but I think I want to fight.
30. Pereira just absolutely ran through it. Look, I was wrong. That's very, very, very impressive.
What were you impressed by in that sense?
I think that he made some good adjustments technically, where he was putting him on the back foot a lot more than he was in the first fight. The first fight, it looked like, oh, he looks like he might shed a tear there, Yuri Prochazka. What's going on there? Yeah, in the first fight, he was kind of like guessing what Ankalaev was going to do constantly. Whereas in this fight, in the rematch, Pereira's just constantly keeping him guessing, walking him backwards, making him feel threatened, and Ankalaev just couldn't even get anything off. So Pereira's back.
I always ask it, but does he move to heavyweight now, or does he fight Yuri, or what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm sure that's his decision. He's the champ. He can decide whatever he wants.
Do you think he should fight Ankalaev again? Maybe that as an option. Give it a trilogy.
I mean, I would watch Alex Pereira fight. I would watch any of them fight anybody, but I think that's pretty cool the way he's just come back and beat him again. See what he wants to do next. Dropped him with the right. Usually you'll see him drop him with the left hooks, but this time he big right one bomb over the top.
Even Daniel Cormier, who's known for his calm and analytical takes, couldn't hide his shock. DC said that Pereira has officially separated himself from the rest of the light heavyweight division, and right now, nobody matches his presence or power. But what's really exploding across the MMA world is the conversation that followed. Should Alex Pereira move up to heavyweight?
Because if you're a real fight fan, you know what the fight of the era is that we need to see. Alex Pereira's got to move up if Tom Aspinall defeats Cyril Gane at UFC 321. By KO in the first round as well, just to add some extra hype. Alex Pereira's got to move up to heavyweight and try for a third belt at the White House in 2026. Him versus Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira at the White House, June 2026, International Fight Week. Third belt for Alex Pereira on the line. Potential GOAT status for Alex Pereira on the line as well. Tom Aspinall gets the super fight. This is the fight of the modern era of combat sports. Alex Pereira's the real deal, though.
Did you know you were going to fight him as aggressively as you did because of how injured you were in the first fight and how you wanted to correct that in the second fight? Or did you just get in there and feel the emotions of the moment?
Não, isso tudo faz parte do plano. Algumas semanas atrás, o Glover deu entrevista e avisou. Falou, pô, tá vai diferente. Primeiro round, vocês já vão ver com essa convicção. Mas ninguém acreditou.
No, that was all part of the plan. And Glover even did an interview and he said, you guys are going to see the difference in the first round. So it was all planned out.
You were very good, for the most part, during the lead up to this, to not taking some of the words said by him or whoever was saying it for him and the personal attacks that were made on him. But realistically, how much of a grudge did you hold against him for those words?
Todo momento. Algumas vezes, igual quando eu falei pro Dana White, pergunta pro Dana White e tal, que o Dana White foi e falou, pô, esse cara nunca negou luta pra mim, nunca falou um não. Não importa que tá viajando, não tá lesionado, e eu sempre fiz isso, então isso acho que foi o que fiquei mais assim, sabe, nas palavras dele. E falando também, tipo, pô, da borracharia, que ele ia voltar pra borracharia. Então, tipo, ele tava tentando falar algo pra se promover, porque se ele não falasse isso, não falasse do meu nome, ele não conseguia chamar a atenção de ninguém.
Don't let it really affect me, you know, and that's why I even said, you know, ask Dana in the press conference how many times I turned down a fight, and Dana said he's never turned down a fight, even when he's traveling on vacation, whatever it was. But he said a lot of things that I was going to go back and work at a tire shop, and just a lot of things through this whole time that he shouldn't have said.
So I was going to ask you, in the face-off, you were caught on camera saying, I don't want to go back to the tire shop. Obviously, the people who followed your story understand the significance of that. But for those who don't, what is the significance behind those words, and why did you feel you had to tell him that at that moment?
Para me lembrar depois, né, eu joguei um pouco de responsabilidade, né, para mim mesmo, né, que eu ia lembrar disso, que eu já falei algumas vezes antes, né, me perguntaram, né, pô, como que você conseguiu ser esse cara que você é hoje e tal? Eu falei, pô, eu não tinha um plano B, eu tinha que lutar, e eu falava que eu não queria voltar pra borracharia. Então eu repeti essa mesma frase para ele para lembrar que eu não queria voltar pra borracharia.
I wanted to remind myself of that. I wanted me to remember that moment and kind of put that responsibility on me of not wanting to go back to the tire shop, because a lot of people ask, you know, how'd you make it from, you know, the tire shop to being a world champion? And it's what I've told myself all along, that I wasn't going to go back to that. So I wanted to remember that.
Mas eu vou pro Brasil e eu vou voltar na borracharia. Mas com esse cinturão aqui, ó.
But I'm going to go to Brazil and I'm going to go to the tire shop, but I'm taking this belt right here.
Seems like he could really be the face of this organization at this point.
Yeah, you know, people love him. People love the way he fights, and can't be bummed out with the way he performed this evening, so.
He seemed to tease that maybe he was going to call for a John Jones fight, but then kind of pulled it back after, you know, learning about Arthur. Is him going to heavyweight something you would entertain at this point?
So today I was at work and I had a bunch of meetings over there this afternoon, and I went over to the PI and he was over in the PI. And I'm like, well, you're the last guy I expected to see here today. What are you doing here? And they're telling me, we want to fight at heavyweight. I said, how about we win tonight and focus on tonight, and then we could talk about, you know, heavyweight. And I don't know. There's still fights here in this division, but we'll see. I mean, this guy has been an absolute stud for us. He's on vacation in Australia, flies over and fights because, you know, somebody fell out. He fights when he's hurt. He doesn't care. He wants to fight everybody. He wants to move up to heavyweight. You know.
After this performance, Joe Rogan believes it's only a matter of time before Alex Pereira moves up to heavyweight. Rogan said Pereira would be an absolute nightmare for the heavyweight division. Imagine that same devastating power, the same precision, and the same calmness, but with even more weight behind every punch. Fighters like Tom Aspinall or even John Jones could be in serious danger if Pereira makes that jump. Daniel Cormier agreed, saying Pereira has something truly special. Not just talent, but that cold, fearless confidence that creates champions. DC said, "You can see it in his eyes. He's not intimidated by anyone, no matter their size or status." And it's not just the analysts talking about it. Fans all around the world are already calling for Pereira to move up, chase greatness, and become a 3-division king.
Yeah, dude, but like Alex just has that thing that like comes once in a lifetime. Like Chuck Liddell had it. There's some guys that just have that death punch. That's Alex. And I'll give you an example. So I'm spinning with Alex in Connecticut, and we're having a fucking war, dude. We're doing 3 hard rounds, and I somehow managed not to get hit with any big shots. And I like walking away real, like, I'm dead tired. I'm walking away really good. And they bring in this pretty high-level wrestler, and this guy is just fucking mauling Alex on round 4. Mind you, this guy's fresh. Me and Alex just had a 3-round fucking war, and this man is just mauling Alex, throwing overhands, has him in his cage. And about like halfway through the round, Alex just like touches him with an uppercut, and the round's done. And then Alex just like, I mean, he could have fucking blew on him and knocked him over. And just like that kind of power, it just, I mean, you got to be like, what, a 6'4" giant fucking Brazilian, I guess.
What I know Ankalaev spent a lot of time in here over the years. Like, what was kind of that situation like for you? Was it a bit awkward? Like, was Alex trying to pick your brain? Or?
You know, no, I mean, I love working with Alex. Alex is one of those guys who were like, if you tell him any tad bit of advice, he absorbs it, he drills it, you know. And no, Ankalaev, dude, like Ankalaev's my boy. And I think Ankalaev is probably like, you know, as far as like ability and skill goes, he's probably one of the best in the world. Like, the guy can fucking fight. I've trained with him. Like, if he were to write a book on MMA, dude, it's a big fucking book. It's a big fucking book. But Alex just has that. He has that little secret sauce, man, that Ankalaev just doesn't have it, dude. But I'm also kind of stoked that, like, I feel like Alex is like an honorary American, you know? So, like he lives in America, he trains in America, he likes guns, you know, likes pussy. Like, he's a good, like, honorary American. So it's really nice to fucking, you know, have like adopted American have the fucking champion, dude, from fucking, no offense, Ankalaev, man, I really like you, dude, but, you know.
There's no male American champions right now in the UFC who are actually born here.
I know. Well, I mean, Kayla, you know, has anybody checked that? No, I actually
love Kayla here.
No, Kayla, you guys, don't judge me when I say this. But when you see Kayla real dolled up at a press conference every now and then, I'm like, wait a minute, who is that? And I'm like, oh shit, that's Kayla, and I hate myself. But Kayla, I love you, man. Kayla's a savage. I love Kayla.
She's a savage. What do you think? Could Alex go to heavyweight and fight John Jones, or is that fighting off too much?
I mean, is John Jones still active? Is he ever going to come back?
I don't know. We haven't heard from him. He just lost his brother like last week. We don't really know where his head's at, but that's the fight Alex called for. He wants to fight him at the White House at heavyweight.
That would be pretty fucking dope, dude, to have a 3-time. Has that ever been done?
No, not 3-division champion.
No shit, dude. Yeah. No, again, dude, like, I think if there's anyone to beat John Jones, it's Alex. But I mean, John Jones, that fucking guy can wrestle, dude. That level of black athleticism, you know, like that man can wrestle, dude. You know, when you come from a lineage of like D1 professional athletes, you know, real good. Oh yeah, no, I love it, dude.
How ready for a fight like that do you think Alex would be? Because like even you see the things like when he hurt Ankalaev, the block he did, put him on his back. Like you see the evolution in his game in little bits and pieces here.
You know, dude, the thing about Alex too, he's really fucking hard to take down. Like you gotta guys understand about Alex, like his natural striking stance is hip in. So like you'll see guys double leg Alex, and he doesn't do the normal reaction. So generally, dude, when someone double legs you, you instinctively want to put your ass out and sprawl. That's like the instinct. It's like, and that's what you're taught. Someone double legs you, you ass out and sprawl. But like
the correct way to defend a double leg is hip in, always hip in. So Alex's natural fighting stance, it's always hip in. So when you shoot a double leg on him, you're shooting into his fucking hip. So he's a really hard motherfucker to take down. You know, if you're going to have any success with him, he better be fucking tired because naturally he just has a defensive stance.
We saw Khamzat Chimaev call him out as well, but I don't think that there's as much desire in that one with Khamzat moving up. He hasn't even defended the belt yet.
Yeah, dude, fucking Chimaev, dude. Made me realize I should wrestle, dude. You know, dude, that little fucking whore, dude. I can't stand fucking Chimaev, dude. Some kind of. You know, I think what annoys me about Chimaev, there's nobody that can beat him. You know, like, as like I've trained with all the guys he's going to fight. Like, I've trained with Chimaev, dude. For one round, the guy could grapple. For one round, dude, once you get over that one round of scramble, he just quits. It just turns into a kickboxing match, like what he did with the 55 or the 70. What's his name? Gilbert. Yeah. Like once he realizes he can't like fucking maul you and you don't quit, he quits. It turns into a boxing match. And I just don't know if there's anybody at that division other than me that like knows what it's like to grapple those fuckers. I've been training with those fucking cave dwellers, dude, my whole fucking life, dude. Like, these motherfuckers live in this gym, dude. So it kind of saddens me that, you know, the fucking Frenchmen ain't doing it.
You don't give Nasruddin much of a chance. They do fight.
No fucking way. Who else? Who else?
I think if he wins, he could.
I fucking dude like so.
Fluffy.
Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine that me and Fluffy might be going at it. I don't know, dude. I would imagine that's a fight to make. Yeah. But yeah, dude, already aren't doing it. I broke my arm and I was training with him like 2 weeks later and I was fucking mauling him and grappling. Well, like he's good at jiu-jitsu, bro. Like he's real good at jiu-jitsu. But it's like the thing about jiu-jitsu, you just don't do it. Like if you take a motherfucker down and you just don't pass their guard, you don't give them the arm, they just lay on their back. And like it's almost easier because they doesn't even try to get up.
Are you doing the anger management, or are you gonna be done in December and eligible to fight next year?
It's more, what do they call it, man? Like I don't want Izzy. I'm not gonna fight Izzy. It's just I think it's an easier fight for me, but like I want to fight that little Chechen whore. Like I just like, so that's kind of where I'm at. I want to fight somebody like Fluffy. Fluffy puts me in title contention, especially with him, because all he does, he's like the American fucking, you know, he's like the American Chimaev. So
the idea of Alex Pereira stepping into the octagon with Tom, Aspinall, or even John Jones in a super fight has fans calling it one of the biggest potential fights in UFC history. Joe Rogan even hinted that if Pereira moves up and wins, it could cement him as one of the greatest combat sports athletes ever. A former kickboxing world champion, a two-division UFC champion, and potentially a heavyweight champion, nobody has ever done that before. DC, on the other hand, offered a bit of a warning. He said moving up to heavyweight isn't easy, and those fighters hit on a completely different level. But even he admitted that Pereira's discipline, striking IQ, and sheer knockout power could translate perfectly to the division. Now everyone is waiting. Will Pereira move up to heavyweight and challenge Tom Aspinall? Or will John Jones finally make his long-awaited return, setting up a potential super fight that could shake the entire sport? One thing is certain. Alex Pereira is no longer just another UFC champion. He's a force of nature, and after UFC 320, both Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier agree that Pereira might just be the most dangerous man in all of combat sports.